Hello and welcome to ProVision ISR's webinar. Today we are going to talk about the IP Manager. The IP Manager purpose is basically to make everything that you want to do with the camera, set them up, reset their password, modify their IP, upgrading them, everything super easy. One of the things that it's pretty obvious that we can do from here is to automatically scan the devices on our LAN. Not only that, it is very visible that I can see the video plays on the upper right corner. Doesn't matter what camera I press, immediately I can see its video playing. Double click on that camera will also open the web page. Now anything that I can do from the IP Manager, I can also do from the web page. Another small thing I want to take you notice is that this camera and this and this and this, all of those are on the same segment, 192, 168. But I have another one which is on 172. The IP Manager has the ability to bypass that problem and basically allow me to both see the video and to allow me access the via web page also with an APIPA IP address, meaning that I will have total control over the camera even if it is not on the same segment. So all that and more coming up next. All you have to do is to sit back, relax and enjoy the ride. Now let's have a quick overview on the IP Manager. So on the upper left corner we can see the refresh button and next to it a small button which allows us to automatically refresh the list. So in case we have connected a new camera, then we can press this one and automatically it will appear here on the top. Secondly, we have two downgoing arrows. One of them is modify username or password. It means that here we can determine on what username and password the IP Manager will try to access the cameras. So if, for example, I'll put here, well, right now it is admin and 126, the password. So when I press a camera, then I will immediately be able to see the video. It means that the IP Manager was able to connect to that camera successfully. But, for example, let's change it. Let's put here admin and 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the IP Manager is trying to access the camera with the wrong password, which gives us this error. So this is the point where we try to reset a password for our cameras. So how do we do that? First of all, we're going to go and select one of the cameras that we don't have the password for, and let's say this one. Now everything becomes super simple. You see the MAC address right here on the top. All we have to do is to copy the same MAC address into the bottom line. So let's go for it, AE0083 and 80. Once we copied the MAC address, we press restore and then we see a device recovered successfully. Basically, right now we have a window of 2 minutes in which we can go into the camera and disconnect it from the power supply and then reconnect it. If we do that in the 2-minute window that we have, the camera will automatically reset and we will have to configure everything in the camera from scratch, including the password and the network and everything. If we did not manage to do that in that window, then the camera will just keep on going as usual, as nothing has happened. So once again, really quick, we choose the camera for which we don't have the password, we copy the MAC address, we press restore, and then we have 2 minutes to unplug and replug the camera's power supply. Next, we are going to see how to reset a PTZ camera password. So here on the top, we can see that we have 0159. This is one of ProVision ISR's PTZs. Let's go into that camera for fun and let's see that we can move it, and this is the address right here on the top. So what if we don't have the password for that camera? Let's go and see what do we do. So first of all, we're gonna have to check it, checkbox. Then we're going to press reset password on the bottom right and get info. Now as soon as we do that, we are supposed to get a serial number and a check code, but we don't. Why don't we get those parameters? Many computers, same as mine, we have a lot of network interfaces. So as you can see, I have a Wi-Fi and an Ethernet. So if I have both of them connected, I won't be able to access that parameter that I just pressed. So So I need to disable the unwanted interface, the interface that is not connected to my camera. So my camera is connected only through Ethernet 3. After I do that, all I have to do is to go into get info, press it, and immediately I get the credentials. So what do we do? First of all, we have to copy the exact serial number over here, make sure that it is not hidden, all of the letters, and the check code. Once we have both of these parameters, all we have to do is to send it via email or by phone into Provision ISR. You will get the identifier in return, and once you do that and press reset password, you will be able to, basically the password and the username will be reset to its defaults. And after that, it is very easy to reset the camera once again. Another option that we have here is the ability to sort our devices according to their type. If you want to see the cameras on the top, or the ONVIF, or the NVR, then if you go down, we can see the decoder on the bottom, or by device model. If you want to search for a specific model, then it makes it very easy. If you want to see if we have, let's say, IP address conflicts, if we have 2, 3, 4 cameras on the same address, then we can just sort them up like this and see exactly on an ascending or descending order the IP addresses. Also, we can add or remove different parameters. For example, I have added here the HTTP port from which we can access the web client, or we can remove it. Of course, we have a couple of more fields such as data port, subnet mask, gateway, kernel version, MAC address, a lot of different options. Of course, everything, once we add it, we can sort it up by this filter. A couple of more things that we have here is the ability to batch update multiple cameras. So all we have to do is the same principle. We choose a couple of more cameras and select whether it is a software or a kernel version, choose the file, give it the right username or password, and press update. Next thing we can do is to batch setnet, meaning we can define the IP address of the camera according to what we want. So we can choose whether the camera will get its IP address from the router automatically, from the DHCP, or use the following, meaning that we determine the first address to be given to the first camera, and then the rest of the cameras will get the IP addresses in an ascending order. So 10001, 10002 until 254, which is the ending. Of course, we determine the subnet mask as we like and the gateway as we like. And in order for that to work, of course, we need the right username and password for the cameras. Next thing will be to change the encoding on the cameras. So in order for that, we will choose batch set stream. Then we will choose, let's sort it by device. We need to choose more than one camera. We must, we can do it on only one camera, but let's choose 1, 2, 3. I see 4 different cameras that are, yes, the same device model. So how do we go from here? We change what we want. Every line that we see here represents a stream. Main stream, substream, third stream. So let's play with the bitrate, for example. Of course, that we can change every parameter here, whether it is the encoding or iframe, quality, or whatever, and place the password 126, 123456, batch set. So we can see that I have 3 cameras that successfully I was able to change their encoding, but one was failed. So why was it failed? Because the username or password error. Okay, so we need the right password for that, but we get the idea. Batch modify password. We select the required cameras. We give them a new password. We confirm the new password that we gave them, and we apply the current password for the camera. Batch set, and we are all set. Batch set image. From here we can change every image related parameter inside the camera. As you can see, brightness, contrast, hue, saturation, DNR, sharpness, all of those parameters are settable through this IP manager. let me just remind you that everything that we have done from here is executable through the web page also. Everything but the reset password parts. So that was the webinar, the IP Manager webinar. I hope you all enjoyed it. This is a great powerful tool that allows us to do a lot of things. It will make our installation much easier, starting from upgrading it once all of the cameras and continuing by changing all of the IP cameras IPs, seeing the angle of the view if we want to set up the camera in the right angle, even before we even connected it into an NVR. A great tool, very powerful, and enjoy it. I was David. Thank you for joining me here on this webinar. Hope to see you next time. Thank you and have a good day.